Ranking every NHL team based on the amount of success that they've had since I've been alive. This is part 3. At the 20th spot on this list, it's the Philadelphia Flyers. Philly's a team that's been very up and down over the last 23 seasons. One year they'll look like a contending team. The next year, they don't even make the playoffs. They made it to the Stanley Cup final in 2010, and since then they've won a couple of playoff rounds, but haven't had a ton of success in the playoffs. But I'm a huge fan of Matvei Michkov, so I hope that he has a ton of success in Philly in the future. At the 19th spot, it's the Montreal Canadiens. Last time I did this list, it was a dead heat between Philly and Montreal, and I had to go to the regular season points percentage as a tiebreaker between the two teams. But since then, Montreal's made the playoffs, Philly hasn't, so Montreal has the lead. Montreal, of course, had that fun run to the Stanley Cup final in 2021, but got crushed by the Lightning, and they went on a steep decline after that. They finished last in the regular season a year later, but since then, I've liked what the Habs are building. They just got back into the playoffs, and I think they're going to have a ton of success with this team that they've built. At the 18th spot on this list, it's the Dallas Stars. Dallas has had a ton of playoff success lately, but they have yet to win the most coveted prize in hockey, the Stanley Cup, since I've been alive. They've been close, though. They made it to the Stanley Cup final in 2020, but their kryptonite lately seems to be the Western Conference final, as they lost to Vegas in the Western Conference final in 2023, and then lost to the Oilers in 2024 and 2025. At 17th, it's the New York Rangers. The Rangers are another team that's been so close so many times. They made it to the Stanley Cup final in 2014, but lost that year to the LA Kings. And I wish we could have seen the King, Henrik Lundqvist, get a Stanley Cup ring. Their Rangers' most recent run to the Eastern Conference final was in 2024, but they lost that year to the Florida Panthers. Then the Rangers missed the playoffs this past season. I think they'll have a bounce back next year, but I'm not sure they'll be a contender again. At the 16th spot, it's the San Jose Sharks. 16's an ironic ranking for the San Jose Sharks because they've won 16 playoff rounds since I've been alive, and despite being a perennial playoff team for years, their only run to the Stanley Cup final was in 2016. Their last run to the Western Conference final was in 2019, where they lost to the St. Louis Blues, and the team imploded after that. They haven't made the playoffs since, but I like the young team that they're building right now around Macklin Celebrini and Will Smith, and I think before you know it, that team's going to be contending once again. Like and follow for part 4.